Good evening, everyone. This is Susan Miller. Thank you so much for coming back onto the call this evening. I'm very excited about tonight. The reason why I asked to have this call this evening is because there is a buzz happening right now in our industry and with our company, and people are asking a lot of questions. And as you can see, the slide says catch the wave. There's times in life where you have an opportunity to see something that comes in front of you, and sometimes people will jump on that and sometimes people will watch it go by. And if you're lucky, you'll have one opportunity in your life come by, and if you don't take advantage of it, the chances are you might not get another opportunity. And I was lucky enough that 25 some odd years ago I was introduced to a company within this industry that I fell in love with. And I had such tremendous success with it. And here I am 25 years later, another company came around and is having very similar growth that took place that first time around that I experienced, this momentous growth that only happens once in the life of a company. And many companies will never, ever experience this growth. It's referred to as momentum. It's referred to as vertical growth. And in some cases, if you're really lucky, it's referred to as critical mass. This is when a company goes from small to big and when a company becomes a household name. And what's happening right now is our company is starting to become a household name. You could ask maybe 10 people in a year or 2 years ago, maybe only 2 or 3 people had heard about it. But you ask 10 people today and there might be 3 or 4 people. Well, what's going to happen in the next 24 to 36 months, everyone is going to hear about this company. And you're going to be able to either hear about it today and do something about it, whether you just become a consumer or you decide to become a fan of these products or you decide to participate in the business opportunity with us. We invite each and every one of you to take a look at this for what it is and become a part of this, whether it be a consumer or a business builder. We truly cherish anyone that involves themselves with our product and our opportunity. And the name of that company is Isagenix. People are asking, what is Isagenix? What is this company that everybody's talking about? You're seeing people walking around with these water bottles in the gyms with this colored water inside their bottles, and they're saying, what is this product that everybody's talking about? You're seeing friends who have lost dramatic weight, or they've been able to really define their bodies, or you had people that have had some health issues that have been able to overcome some of those symptoms and truly been able to impact their own health. And tonight, what I want to do is cast a vision for you. I want to educate you on what this company is and what this company is not. I want you to understand what these products are, what they can do, and what they can't do. And I want to see if, in fact, this might be for you. And so let's just take a peek at the business for a second. Isagenix is a world leader in nutritional cleansing. This company started in 2002, so today we are a 13-year-old company. We have currently done $3.5 billion in cumulative sales. This year alone, we will do $1 billion in 2015. The company is the one of 10 companies in the world in our industry who have hit the milestone of doing $1 billion in one annual year. And we have done it all without spending one dime on advertising. So what does that mean? Before there was television and all the thousands of channels that they had out there, and before there were commercials that you see out there that spend with the Super Bowl $1 million for just 30 seconds of a commercial. Before there were multi-billion-dollar infomercial market. 20 years ago, no one ever heard of an infomercial. But today it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Before there were billboards and radio shows and magazines by the thousands with advertising articles within them. There simply was, these companies were branded. And for me, if you think of branding, who can afford branding? It's the big boys, right? The people that have the very big pockets. And who do they market these to? To all of us. But who do they use? They use these famous people to promote their products. And to me, branding is no more than brainwashing. Something that you have seen over and over and over again, so you have a brand name recognition attached to it. And then you see somebody that you know from a famous movie star or something, and you have some kind of relationship to this, and you see this as something that you would want to purchase. But before you had all of that, you simply had word of mouth. way back when, before there was any of this branding and televisions and radios and magazines, you simply shared something with someone. And through that, you were able to expose people to different options of products. Well, nowadays, you have something very similar to that in this day and age. If you look at any of the Verizon and the phone companies, the refer a friend programs, right? They've been popping up left and right all over the place, $25 to refer a friend. That is word of mouth, because they understand the power of how word of mouth and how easy it is to share something that you already want to use with other people. And the company and the industry that utilizes that model is what network marketing. And network marketing is an industry whose time has come. See, I was introduced to this industry, as I said, 25 years ago. And 25 years ago, it was referred to as multi-level marketing. And like any industry, these industries have to learn what works and what doesn't work. And as time goes on, they get rid of the things that don't work, and they come of age, and they use the things that do work. And multi-level marketing was innately flawed. Even though I had tremendous success within that industry, I actually ended up walking away from it for 15 years. And the reason why I walked away from it, guys, is because I was hugely successful, but way too many of the people that I brought into the business were not. And these were my family and friends, just like the Verizon program, right? These are people that I shared it with because I saw something that was exciting for myself, and I looked for those people who might want the same things that I had. And many of them had success, but way too many did not. And for that reason, I realized that there was a problem. And the problem wasn't with the fact that it was word of mouth. The problem was with the fact that their compensation structure. Their compensation structure was built on a premise that actually ended up turning you into a salesperson. And I don't think that was their concept when they thought about it, when they were doing it. They were basically just trying to make sure that they could track the volumes. But what happens where they put them in levels. And if you look at levels, levels is built on a 100% compounding effect. So the core principle of word of mouth we knew worked. Word of mouth is the most credible and cost-effective means of bringing a product to market. And we also knew if you had a quality product that was emotional, consumable, and result-oriented, that could be the cornerstone of your success of your business, because without your quality product, there is no business model. And so then, if you had the idea of a compounding effect, whereas you could track this volume, that residual income, getting a small piece of a very big pie, would trump all other types of income, because it would create a lifestyle. It would remove you from the day-to-day activities of your income. But because they had levels, and if you looked at how it worked, levels is like that compounding effect of a penny doubling. Well, what happens when you double a penny? 2 cents turns into 4, 4 turns into 8, 8 turns into 16, and then by the 10th day of the month, it's $10. But the next 10 days of the month, it's 10,000. And the next 10th day of the month, it is 10 million. Now, what happens when you're looking at this is levels. If most companies only paid on 6 levels deep, you never even got to the 10th day of the month. Whereas the biggest volume, it's on the lower levels. So if they're cutting it off before you could even get to the bigger volume, and then what happens is these companies would put in what's called compression models, so that the people that were actually building the business, not just the consumers, would be stuck in those levels. They would roll up to the top. And what did that look like? It looked like the pyramid that they said it wasn't. And so, in essence, what happened is people were put in a position that they had to work really hard to get paid on those volumes for fear that these people were dropping below their pay levels. And so the company made them have to jump through these very difficult criteria in order to meet these really stringent volumes to get paid. And so in essence, they were turning people into salespeople. And that simply was not the concept of word of mouth to begin with. It was just tracking who used the products based on your recommendation and your referral. Is this a big business? Absolutely. Let's just take a look at the different industries out there and the billions that they bring in on an annual basis. You have the NFL alone is 9.5 billion. The music industry is 16.5 billion. The organic product industry alone is 91 billion. The movie industry, 80 billion. The video gaming industry, 67 billion. And then there you see network marketing industry is a $167 billion industry. Why? Because when you can find a product that is emotional and consumable and has a result attached to it, and people love that product, and they're going to naturally share it regardless if in fact they're getting paid. They're going to talk about it because that's what we do. We market people all day long. Think of any small business. Ask anyone that owns a small-based business. They build their business 100% on word of mouth, whether they're doing it or their clients are doing it for them. I started off as a hairdresser, and as a hairdresser, I exchanged time for money. And I was in a total linear business. And so when I worked, I got paid. When I didn't work, I didn't get paid. But I built my business on a consumer base. My customers came to me. And if they liked my work and people saw my work, they endorsed me for free. That's how I built my clientele. And then I went and started my own cosmetic company because I wanted to be slightly more leveraged. And so I was in the salon industry, and that was where my comfort zone was. So I created a cosmetic company within the salon industry and marketed it to my clients. And I had more employees that worked for me in different salons. And I was actually being able to leverage myself to a point where I somewhat removed myself from my day-to-day income, except for the fact that I had a huge financial responsibility to that company and to that income. And if someone didn't show up, guess who had to cover them? That was me. And then I was introduced to this industry when I was in my late 20s by two gentlemen who were dressed in suit and tie, and they came from the finance industry, and they talked about trends and timing. And they talked about linear versus leveraged versus residual income. Now, see, I had never heard of residual income for the everyday person. It was like royalty. They paid royalties that were paid on for people that were like, musicians and authors and famous actors, that they would get a royalty based on the creative work that they were able to do. I didn't realize that this was something that was available to the everyday person. But because of this industry and because of this model, it was. And so I was able to build something once in my late 20s, and I walked away from that industry in my early 30s. But today, I still earn a significant income from that company. Yet I have had nothing to do with the growth of it for over 20 plus years. Now that kind of income is the kind of income that changes people's lives. And that is the opportunity that we are sharing here tonight with all of you. Market disruptors. I was watching CNN the other day, and it really impressed me. And so I had to actually create a slide for it. Talked about market disruptors and how different companies disrupt marketplaces. And so you look at this as Apple disrupted the way in which we communicate. I'm sure you guys could all agree with that, right? And then it talked about how Amazon disrupted the way we shop online. And then it talked about how Google disrupted the way in which we gained information. And I'm here to tell you guys that Isagenix is disrupting the way in which we create an income. See, all of it is about finding and providing a better way of doing things. This is all about shifting, being able to think in your brain that life doesn't stay the same. If we just look back in the last 10, 15 years, everything is so dramatically different than the way it was. When I did this industry 25 some odd years ago, they didn't even have the internet. I mean, I know I'm dating myself, but they didn't even have three-way calling. Now we're in a position where we can reach people all over the world. These small changes made such big differences. And I talk to you about shifts because the shifts are in so many things in our life. To be able to think differently about things, because there is no way you can grow without change. So we are constantly having to rethink the way we think about things, right? So keeping that in mind, guys, there is a convergence of trends that are taking place right now that have never happened before. They're coming together at the exact same time and going through this momentous growth at the exact same time that this company, Isagenix, is going through their own personal growth. And those trends start with the coming of age of an industry, the introduction of a new industry, and a paradigm shift worldwide that is taking place. So let's look at that for a minute. The coming of age of an industry. Here you have Stephen Covey, really one of the most, well-known, forward-thinking gentlemen in his era. And he stated network marketing has come of age. It's undeniable that it has become a way to entrepreneurship and independence for millions of people. By Stephen Covey. You're going to notice when you start paying attention, guys, to what this industry is today, it is not what it was yesterday. This is not multi-level marketing. This is an industry that has come of age. And this company, Isagenix, the owners of this company, Kathy and Jim Hoover, they are industry experts. They've been in the industry personally for over 35 plus years. Jim has been always in from the corporate side. Kathy has been in from the associate side. They have a perfect knowledge and understanding of how this industry works. And one of the biggest challenges you have within this industry is people look at it as a money grab because it is such a big cash flow industry. And they look at it, but they don't understand it. And there are so many factors that you have to be able to understand the working pieces of this industry in order for it to become a $1 billion a year industry. Hence why you only have 10 companies in the history of this industry that have done it before. And we will become the 10th one this year. Then you have the emergence of a new industry, social media. I mean, come on, it is the absolute perfect fit, is it not? For network marketing. Why? Because network marketing is about connecting with people. Network marketing, by the way, is a relationship business. This is not about cold calling. This is not about walking and talking. This is about connecting with people that you already know. Or if you're making new friends, make them friends first. And then through that friendship, you open up doors of opportunity. People self-select in this industry. And if you understand that, you will never be offended by the fact that when someone says no to you. So if any of you are on this call and you're listening to this and you're saying, this is just not for me, thank you. Just tell us. We're fine with that. The products might be great for you. I truly believe every single person in the world should be on a nutritional cleansing program, but you've got to be willing to try it. And at the end of the day, you get to decide. I tell people all the time, I have something I want to share with you. I don't know if this is for you, but if it is, you're going to love me because this is the most exciting thing I have ever seen in my life because these trends are coming together at the exact same time our company is going through vertical growth, which is a perfect storm for success, people. And the last one being the worldwide shift of prevention. Think about it. 15, 20 years ago, you did not have the diseases that we have today. Many of them autoimmune diseases, many of them prevented through lifestyle choices and change. We have an epidemic proportion of obesity in our nation and worldwide. Obesity brings on type 2 diabetes that we have epidemic proportions in adults and in children. And it is 100% preventable through lifestyle. This is a crisis that we have to overcome. Just like cigarette smoke, when I went to high school, they actually had a smoking section at the high school for the kids. I tell my 14-year-old son this, he doesn't believe me. Because of course, here you go 30 years, some odd years later, you wouldn't even consider having that in the high schools today. Because knowledge is power, is it not? And we learned that smoking is detrimental to our health. So why would we let our children do it? Why would we let our children be eating processed, dead food that is making them obese and sick when we now know better? See, the beauty of network marketing and the idea of what we're doing here today is we are teaching people one person at a time. Educating people one person at a time that you can be healthier by making better choices and that we are not going to go to the doctor and get a pill that's going to get us healthy these days from lifestyle choices. We are going to have to change the way we live. I was watching this the other day, and it absolutely blew my mind. Her name is Robin O'Brien, and she is the most amazing woman that has made such an impact in our industry of learning about prevention. She was on the TED Talks, and if you haven't seen the TED Talks, they're pretty impressive, and they're ways of spreading ideas worldwide. Very professional people coming in a very short window of time, being able to encapsulate an issue or a problem or a challenge and share that with the world. She wrote a book called The Unhealthy Truth. This is a woman that was on Wall Street. She traded in her briefcase for her diaper bag and had 4 children in 5 years. And one of those children ended up having an allergic reaction after breakfast one morning. And being an analyst on Wall Street for the food industry, mind you, she ended up deciding to figure out why. And she went and she did a tremendous amount of studies, and there was a direct correlation to what she learned to having the amount of allergies in children, food allergies in children, to the time that they brought GMOs and pesticides into our food source. And so I urge each of you, regardless of this business opportunity or not, to these products, to go and watch this and get this book, and you can go to YouTube and Google her, because it changed my life. Because that's just the beginning. But knowledge is power, again, and you can never unlearn what you've learned. And she made a quote, and she goes, all of us can't do everything, but we can all do something. So if that something means to start incorporating live food into your life, and to stop maybe just taking the sodas out of your kids' diets, just taking the colored dyes and the drinks out of their diet, one thing a year, one thing a month that you can do to change your health, because this is going to impact us for life, generations. And so this woman really impressed me. She talked about toxicity and deficiency at the root of the problem. And that is our challenge. That is what our company is all about. We're based on this. See, our air is polluted. Our water is contaminated, and our food is processed, preserved, and sprayed with pesticides. And we think we should be healthy. Of course we're not healthy. We were not meant to breathe this air and drink contaminated water and eat food that has pesticides on it. And by the way, do you know what sides mean at the end of the pesticides? It means death. They are spraying death on your food. And nowadays they're actually implemented inside the food, the pesticides. So it's actually grown inside the seed, in the corn, which is almost in every processed food out there. And so, of course, we're struggling. And what we need to do is detoxify our bodies first, and then flood our body with superfoods. I struggled with a decade-long autoimmune disease where I had symptoms that made me exhausted all the time. I had aches over my body on a regular basis. I never had energy to do anything. And I realized, even before this company and the introduction of their products, that food mattered. And learning that wasn't enough, because it was really difficult to eat raw food and to buy organic constantly. And so I found myself slipping back. And when I was introduced to these products, they dramatically impacted my health like you would not believe, to the point where I traveled to South Africa twice this year. I've traveled to Europe twice this year. I've been all over the country this year. I couldn't have done that in an entire decade. And I was able to do that in about 14 months. And I'm doing that because my body is the miracle. Because what I did was I put it in an environment that it could heal itself by detoxifying our body and flooding it with superfoods. Your body knows how to perform properly. And that is the beauty of knowledge, guys. The Next $1 Trillion Industry, written by Paul Zane Pilsner, The Wellness Revolution. Another book or audio you should Google. You should go to YouTube and listen to this man. He sets the record straight. This is where we're going. And if you want to be able to tap into an opportunity in your own personal lives, you want to know about something before the whole world does. It's a buzz now. It's been happening for about 20, 25 years. People have started to realize that we need to go back to basics. We need to go back to the organics. We need to go back to just the natural way of living in order for us to have healthy aging. And this industry is the one that we're in. This company spent their first decade becoming a product story. One person at a time, we built this company, sharing the products and allowing those products to get results with people. And because it was highly consumable, it started to build this business model for people that were simply just sharing products with family and friends and getting results. But see, the second decade is a money story. And it's a money story because we have earned the right for it to be, because we did it right. Many of these companies out there, the MLM companies and even other network marketing companies, they do what we call force feed the compensation plan. And they get you to buy in the products, and they get you to spend a lot of money and put it in your next spare bedroom or in the trunk of your car. That is not what we are about. This is a true, sincere business model that takes 3 to 5 years of building a successful network of consumers who have a vested interest in staying involved with these products for life. And that vested interest is because they're getting a result first and foremost, and because at minimum they're getting their products paid for by simply sharing them through a referral program with friends, or building a dynamic business for themselves that can continue to go on with or without you, that's even willable to your children. We are currently in 13 countries. We will be in 50 plus countries before we are all said and done and go into stability. And the opportunity is immense right now. I currently have been with this company for 3 years, 37 months. I've introduced about 80 people to this company and these products. Majority of them are product consumers. But a handful of them decided to pursue this from a business perspective. I am currently in 6 countries and have over 33,000 plus people on my team. Somewhere around 1,000 people a week coming on board. I simply do not know who those people are. But I get a small piece of a very big pie because somewhere along the line, I introduced it to somebody who introduced it to somebody who introduced it to somebody. And next thing you know, we'll have 35,000 people by the end of July, most likely, in this company, on just my team. Our solutions target health on a cellular level to strengthen vitality and support healthy aging. We are a nutritional company that transforms lives. You see people who have lost significant weight, but it was never even meant to be a weight loss product. It was meant to help people put their body in an alkalized state. And when your body is in an alkalized state, it cannot be sick. If you look at any of the studies, there were a Pulitzer Prize winning study that proved the fact that every single person who has cancer is acidic. So if you were in an alkalized state, you cannot be sick, people. And so that's where it starts. We have studies that support this. 56% more weight loss, 47% more fat loss, twice the more visceral fat loss. That part of the study right there is what put us in the medical journals, because you can only measure that by MRIs. That's the fat that's around your organs that ends up killing you. 35% reduction in oxidative stress. That's the ones that gives you heart attacks. When you can do something that's going to lower your ability to potentially have a heart attack or your visceral fat loss, this is way beyond aesthetics, guys. This is about health. And then we have short-term studies, but then we had a long-term study as well. A year-long study of people being able to sustain the weight loss and also talk about 3 times more toxin released in the body. And this is why we are in these medical journals, and this is why the buzz of us is getting out there. Not only are people getting results, but we actually are proving it through science. We have a 60% customer retention ratio. Why? Because the products work. And it's actually would stay on it longer if people didn't just go back to their old eating habits because they want to, go out and maybe have fun for a while. But guess what happens is they come back to us. So they have an 82% reorder ratio. And what we're trying to educate people on is, look, this is such a simple program. You can actually have fun while you're on it. You don't have to worry about the fact that you have to be stringent and difficult. This is a lifestyle, not a diet. We have a 95% retention when we show people how to get their products paid for. And this company has such a simple program to do that because they understood the power of what their model is all about. They don't want salespeople. They want consumers that stay invested in these products for life. And the best way to make those consumers do that is to make it easy for them to consume. Let them get their products for free. And in doing that, by sharing it with other people. What this simply is, if I was going to try to really scale it back for you guys and tell you what this is, it is an online wholesale shopping business. It is a turnkey solution. You get involved with this company for under $1,000. We have programs anywhere from, it's $1,200 if you want to buy one of everything in the company, or as simple as maybe a $559 package, which is our number one package that we enroll people from a business perspective in. Why? Because we know that they're going to get an immense result with those products, and both physically and financially. This is so simple that they give you a website, a $20 million website with your own customized website for you the minute you sign in. It comes with that program. It is basically what I like to refer to as franchising for the 21st century because you don't have to have the expense. Nobody can afford to buy franchises today. But if you even think about it, 25, maybe even longer, 35 years ago, franchising at one time was considered a scam. And today it's a prestigious way of making a living. And of course, at some time people thought that MLM was some kind of a pyramid, which it looked like one. It was legal, but it had so many flaws to it. But you know what? Like anything, every industry has to grow up one day. And somebody's going to figure it out. And it just happened to be that Kathy and Jim Coover are the ones that did it. And Isagenix is the emerging giant in this industry right now, going through vertical growth. We did 62% increase over last year. And the one thing I will tell you, that right there alone is just unheard of, people. You do not have that kind of growth in business. People would die in traditional businesses to have a 5 or 10% growth in 1 year, never mind a 62% growth. And we have no way of stopping in sight. We are approaching a very, very aggressive growth in this company in the next 36 months, and it's happening right now. We have the opportunity to do what franchising did without the cost. Because, see, franchises were all about scaling something. Being able to fine-tune a model and be able to mass produce it over and over and over and over again and get really great results. And that is exactly what we've done. This business has to be simple. We have to master the art of simplicity. 1, 2, 3, kick the ball, share a product, show them how to go to their website, learn about that product, how to share that product with somebody else, and how to get paid a referral fee for it. And that's it. And you do it over and over and over and over and over again. 83.5% of the people in our business are consumers, and we love our consumers. That's what sets us apart from every other marketing company out there today, that we are a strong consumer-based business. 11.5% of the people are fans. What's the difference between a consumer and a fan? A consumer does not introduce other people to these products. They just buy them for themselves. A fan is someone who earns somewhere between $500 and under by simply sharing the products with their family and friends. They're not here to build a big business. They're just enjoying getting their products paid for and sharing it with family. Only 5% of the people pursue this from a business perspective. And let me clarify that. I didn't say 5% of the people earn the money. I said 5% of the people choose to build this as a business. And therefore, they're the ones that earn the majority of the income, as it should be. 50% built into the wholesale cost of these products. And as I said, we're an online wholesale consumer company. All I do is open up wholesale accounts for people. I've had people purchase retail directly from my website that just go to my website, happen to find me online, and purchase it, and that's fine. But if you want to open up a wholesale account, think of BJ's and Costco's. Nobody wants to pay retail anymore. We live in the internet world. I go online all the time before I go to the store to see if there's any coupons, don't you? Yeah, I don't want to pay full price if I don't have to. You have an opportunity to come online with Isagenix, open up a wholesale account, pay a membership fee of $29 for the year with an auto ship, and you can cancel it at any time. No obligation whatsoever. Purchase the product at a significant reduction of the retail price point, and built into the wholesale cost of those products is a 50% margin. And that is how they pay their field. They give you a small percentage of a very big pie. And so as people bring in people, it's a team building compensation plan. And as I brought in 2 people and they brought in 2, and we started to duplicate the penny doubling, and you start to see 16 and then 32 and then 64 people on your team. And what happens when you get up to a couple of hundred people on your team, it starts to grow exponentially so quickly. And we're all getting a very small piece of a very big pie. We're all sharing in the same volume. And they cap it at a point because you can't pay indefinitely. So instead of paying on levels, what they do is they say, we will pay you up to $13,500 a week on the volume that goes through your network. And by the way, once you've maxed that out, you can build as many teams as you want to. And you'll never have to build the bigger part of the team, because what they have is 2 organizations. One team is a stronger team and one team is a lesser volume team. And it has nothing to do with the people and just has to do with the volume when I talk about that. So it's a 2/3, 1/3 compensation plan. And they basically play off each other. And every $900 that goes to the compensation plan, the company pays us 6% of that volume that goes in our network. And when you have one team takes off and goes crazy and starts consuming as we teach people to build, and you come over and you build a second team, and you remove the 2/3 part of that strong team, because if it's so strong and that volume keeps accumulating every single month, and it's like a bank account, it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. And then you go build the small leg team, you earn actually 18%. And that's just a little tidbit of something of where you can earn between 6 or 18% in this business. And the majority of the people on my team are earning the 18% because we showed them how to build the infrastructure properly of this business. This is a business, people, as you saw in the earlier numbers. Let's talk about the timing, and let's talk about catching that wave. There are 4 stages of growth in a business: formulation, concentration, and if you're lucky, momentum and stability. So let's take a look at where we are right now as a company. In 2012, we did $340 million. Now remember, not one dime was spent on advertising. The next year, we went to 460 million. That is when we hit what you referred to as momentum, because it was over a 30% increase in 1 year of growth. And then in 2014, we did 725 million in sales. And this year we are right on track to do $1 billion. Now look at this. The first billion, it took us 7.5 years to do. The second billion, it took us 3 years to produce. The third billion, it took us 1.5 years. And this year we will do it in 1 year. This year is going to be the precipice that will bring us into what we refer to as critical mass. And that critical mass window of time takes place over 24, 36, maybe 48-month window of time. That means we have somewhere between 2 and 4 years to take advantage of this. 80% of the people that get involved in this business, from a consumer, a fan, or business builder point of view, are going to do it over the next 4 years. When you look back on this in 15 years and you see the company that set the difference, the industry disruptor, it is Isagenix, people. And we are the one in this decade that stands out amongst all of the others. And we are only in 13 countries right now. We will be going into over 50. We are living in the melting pot in the world if you are here in the US. And there are people on this call from probably about 7 or 8 different countries right now being able to tap into this. Hence social media being such an impact to our industry. It is a perfect marriage for us, and it has put us in a situation where we can build right from our own home all around the world, which is exactly what I've done. I have not been in any of these other countries other than the US that I currently have my business in today, which is pretty impressive. This is our business model right here. You plus 2, them plus 2. Let's look at these numbers for a minute. I mentioned the President's Pack earlier, $559 package. You come in with a 30-day supply of our products. These products are amazing, people. They consist of a Cleanse for Life, where you're detoxifying your body, an Ionic Supreme, where you're building your immune system, all plant-based. And then they introduce a whey protein shake, which is undenatured. These proteins are coming into your body and flooding your body. 2 shakes a day and a meal. Healthy, clean, paleo-driven meal, which means if it didn't walk on our earth or grow from it, you might not want to eat it. And everything else is processed, and we try to stay away from it. Maybe you want to go for a walk today. Maybe go to the gym, lift a little weights. We're talking about lifestyle. We've seen so many people transform their lives. This is not a diet, and this is not a fad. This is a lifestyle, one in which people will come back to time and time again until they realize maybe I should just stay on it full time. And it is extremely cost effective to do so, because you can do so by getting your products for free. So you plus 2, the product package is $559. It's a 30-day supply of products, okay? Your shake is costing about $3 a meal. I had my daughter going to college. She just graduated last month. She was taking shakes every day instead of eating the food. She's probably one of the only ones that graduated without having extra weight on her, because she was able to manage it throughout her college years. You plus 2, bring in 2 of your friends, show them the same results that you're having. And one of the people say to me, well, I have to get results before I show it to my friends. I'm like, well, that's sales, and we're not doing sales here. If you are joining a gym where they say to you, you have to go to the gym and get results before I'm going to join, no, I'm asking someone to go to the gym with me. Go with me and try this with me. Let's get the results. 100% money back guarantee. No harm, no foul, right? Word of mouth is a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. We know if people like things, they'll tell people about it. But you know what we also know? If they don't like it, they tell twice as many people about it. So there's no way we became a billion-dollar company for these products not working and not people telling other people about it and getting results. So you bring in 2 people, okay? The company pays you a product introductory bonus. This is a thank you. It is a referral bonus. They're saying to you, thank you for that new customer, and they pay you very, very generously. The first, it's $80, but if you bring in it for the first person you bring in, if you bring in a second person, they'll add that $80, they'll double it, so it's $160. So 160 plus 160 is $320. And the first time you bring in 2 people, they pay you a one-time $50 bonus. That's $370. That's more than 50% of your initial investment in your own product packages. You just got back from sharing it with 2 people. When those 2 people do the same so that they can then share it and get their 50% back on their products, the company will pay you $100 for every single person that you've personally brought into this program to try these products, who bring in 2 people themselves and get their products at half off. So there's another $200 there. Now you've just earned $570. If you happen to do that within 30 days as an incentive and a thank you, a huge thank you, they'll pay you another $250 for simply sharing these products in a timely fashion. That's $820. You didn't just get your products paid for. You got your next 2 months worth of products paid for as well. Does that look like a strong business model? It looks very similar to what I've seen when you've seen the Verizon. Family and friends will pay you $25 for your top 10 people and family and friends, or they'll give you programs but they won't charge you for the minutes that you use with the people that are on your program. It's the same model, guys. It's the exact same model. Now you can stop right here and say, you know what? I don't mind. This is our fan base. These are people that are simply just sharing it, okay? It's the you plus two. When you get into the them plus two, where your people are sharing it, that's the network marketing model. You're actually not even in network marketing until you've done them plus two, because that's where it's not based on your own productivity. It's where other people are sharing it. And because we're in a day and age where we can track everything now, they can start tracking things all around the world. Think Facebook. I live here in Boston, Massachusetts, and right down the street, Facebook started at Harvard University. It started in a dorm room, then it started in a college, then it went to the couple of colleges here in the area, then it went to a couple of states in the area, and then it went around the world. And in 3 years, they have 1 billion people on Facebook. Not one dime was spent in advertising. Same concept, people. We are a perfect 10. Company, perfect 10. People know what they're doing. They've been in the industry forever, and this is in their blood. They understand it. Products, these products, bar none. This was not a product call tonight. We have videos that you can watch. You can go to isoproduct.com to watch those videos just for the time factor. We ask that you go to those and talk to people who actually have experienced these products. Let them share their stories with you, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day, that you know people that are actually having success with these products. Trends, we talked about those tonight. 3 trends converging, dramatically impacting the growth of this company right now, because if this company was just brand new, we couldn't capitalize on those trends. It'd be too early for us. And if we were 25, 30 years old, it'd be too late for us. But we are absolutely at the exact same moment we needed to be when these trends took place. And that is miraculous, because, you know, something like that happening is pretty crazy, don't you think? And then timing. We just talked about that. We are just going into the biggest growth that this company will ever see in its history. It only happens once in the life of a company, and it is happening right now. So you need to decide if you want to do something with this. You're going to do it now. You don't want to think about this and do this in 4 years, because, yes, can you make money in 4 years? Yes, but it will not be the wave of energy that comes by catching that wave, which is what happens when you are in front of a trend like this. When you're in front of that wave, and then the wave comes along and propels you forward, and you get to take advantage of that growth that's taking place with that. And then compensation. This company simply got it right. They removed the levels, they removed the compression models, they removed the salesmanship mentality, and they simply said, share these products with people and we will say thank you in the form of money. Isagenix is perfectly positioned to capitalize on the convergence of trends, and it's happening right now. Simply question is, who do you know? Who do you know that would want to get healthy both physically and financially? Who do you know that wants to change their lives, who are open to change? As I say to people all the time, I don't know if this is for you, but if it is, you're going to love me. Isagenix revolution, it's here. The world leader in nutritional cleansing, and we are learning that that is the only way that we are going to be able to stay healthy, is by taking personal accountability for our own health. Knowledge is power. You had the opportunity this evening to hear a lot of information. I thank you very much for taking the time with me tonight. And this may or may not be for you, but if it isn't for you, you might know somebody it is for, because this is an opportunity whose time has come. And I'll leave you with this. It's my favorite quote of all. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? And for me, it's Isagenix. Thank you so much for being a part of this call tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Good call.